Welcome to today's edition of Spiritual Awakening Radio. My name is James Bean of spiritualawakeningradio.com. Today's program is program 544 in the healthylife.net CHSR series. Today my focus on Spiritual Awakening Radio is the wisdom, poetry, and teachings of Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram Bahadur of the Radhasoami Satsang in Agra, India. Past life guru Huzur Maharaj. I've always been very drawn to the teachings of Huzur Maharaj. You know, I could really do a radio program and write books solely based on his teachings. He was a prolific writer of poetry, prose, and hymns, and was a founding master of the Radhasoami faith. Huge number of books. Today's program is focused on Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram. But before I get to his teachings, I begin with Guru Nanak, Kabir, Arjan Dev, and the Beatles. Seeing without eyes, hearing without ears, walking without feet. We speak without tongue, we see without eyes, we hear without ears, we walk without feet, and we work without hands. A saying of Guru Nanak Dev. This is from Kabir, Songs of Kabir, Kabir love poetry culled by Rabindranath Tagore. It is the mercy of my Satguru that he has made me to know the unknown. I have learned from him how to walk without feet, to see without eyes, to hear without ears, to drink without mouth, to fly without wings. I have brought my love and my meditation into the land where there is no sun and moon, nor day and night. Without eating, I have tasted of the sweetness of nectar, and without water, I have quenched my thirst. Where there is the response of delight, there is the fullness of joy. Before whom can that joy be uttered? Kabir says, the Guru is great beyond words, and great is the good fortune of the disciple. Guru Arjan Dev. Seeing without eyes, hearing without ears, walking without feet, working without hands, uttering God's name without tongue, and dying while living, is accepting God's will. Once again from Guru Kabir, a hymn preserved in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, or Sikh, scriptures. May I see you with my eyes, hear your name with my own ears, speak your name in my words, O Lord, and rest your flower-like feet on my heart. Without going out of my door, I can know all things on earth. Without looking out of my window, I could know the ways of heaven. The farther one travels, the less one knows, the less one really knows. arriving without traveling, see all without looking, do all without doing. Lyrics from The Inner Light by the Beatles, especially George Harrison, who with that song was greatly inspired by some verses of the Tao Te Ching of Lao Tzu that a scholar had sent to him, another version, another translation of the Tao Te Ching, and George Harrison evidently really liked it. From the Tao Te Ching of Lao Tzu: without taking a step outdoors, you know the whole world. Without taking a peep out of the window, you know the color of the sky. The more you experience, the less you know. The sage wanders without knowing, sees without looking, accomplishes without acting. Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching. Swamiji Maharaj from his Sarbachan Radhasoami poetry: sit still and you will reach your destination. Walk fast and you will go nowhere. A great description of the process of meditation. Swamiji Maharaj, also known as Sant Radhasoami Sahib, also says, now that you have gained access to this human form, go some way to serve your spiritual cause and life's mission. A true chela, or disciple or student, a true chela is the one whose surat, the soul or spiritual force, is emerging, and is a true lover of the Supreme Father. A true chela, disciple or student, is the one whose surat, the soul or spiritual force, is emerging, and is a true lover of the Supreme Father. Spirituality is more caught than taught. Our own receptivity is part of it. The rest of the equation is being influenced by others on the path, being initiated into the mysteries by a living master, provides the spiritual charge of the teacher as well as the imparting of the techniques that he gives. Meditating with others on the path is a powerful thing as well. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in their midst. There's a group energy, especially for those on the path of inner light and sound meditation. Meditating with others who see and hear helps, as if their seeing and hearing opens us up to the same inner landscape as well, which it does. One of the first inner sounds souls might encounter is the astral bell, a kind of eternal ringing, a ringing that goes on forever and never stops, a silent ringing, a ringing in the silence, in the sound of silence, an unstruck bell that continuously reverberates. Faintly, one might partially hear the louder aspects of it and interpret that they are hearing some kind of celestial wind chimes, perhaps, if they're not hearing it fully and they just hear the peak parts of the ringing. They might think of it as wind chimes, a faint ringing in the silence when it's absolutely quiet. The sound is always there, but it is more likely to be noticed during the quietude of the night, during meditation, or perhaps during a time of trauma. It is a source of protection from negative powers, can erase some karma, altering one's destiny, putting one on a higher path. The word or sound current of grace from above busts into matrix whirls of time and space to free souls from illusion. Meditation is so essential. For those following the path of the Masters, it's simply about focusing attention on that neglected spiritual aspect. The soul is already in heaven, but doesn't know it, doesn't experience it, like a pearl embedded in several muddy layers of mind and matter, with its original nature obscured. We can pay attention to that other aspect, the soul, the pearl, beyond mind and the world of the five senses. The third eye, also known as the single eye, Shiv Netra, or wisdom eye, is the portal to inner space, is a kind of divine doorway to the beyond. When we close our eyes, it's as if we're standing on a shoreline of darkness. Further out and above, however, is a vast ocean and starry mystic sky. Beyond the darkness and beyond the silence is uncreated light and sound, levels and realms and heavens, along a kind of tunnel of ascension. All souls are, in essence, drops of love from the ocean of love, whether they know it or not, whether they experience it or not. Meditation is about experiencing it. Meditation doesn't create this reality of the soul that is seated with Christ in heavenly places, the soul that's already in Sachkhand, Satlok, the spiritual realm. That is a reality that already is. But it's about knowing it, about experiencing it, focusing some of our attention on it, being the quantum observer, making that a reality for us in our experience. Again, after all these many centuries on the wheel of transmigration. Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram, the reason that they attend satsang, the spiritual gathering at the feet of the Masters, is a fervent desire for meeting God and for the welfare of their soul. Satpurush Radhasoami Dayal, the original Supreme Being, the compassionate Lord of the soul, is extremely gracious and merciful. In every way he protects and takes care of him who has sincerely surrendered himself to him. He will never forsake him until he has taken him to Dayal Desh, the compassionate realm. Hence, those who have come under his care and joined his satsang, his spiritual gathering, should entertain firm faith that Radhasoami Dayal, the merciful, compassionate Lord of the soul, would certainly complete their task one day. As long as they do not repair to their original abode, he will be with them and protect and look after them in every way and enable them to advance in their spirituality. A quote from Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram from Volume 2 of his great work known as Prem Patra Radhaswami. The Soul's Awakening from Illusion, also from Prem Patra Radhaswami. The mind has forgotten its real abode for many ages, many aeons. Having clung to Maya, or illusion, and its objects, it acts perversely. Unless it is fully purified, the inner eye will not be opened. However, elevation of the spirit shall continue on a subtle level. The path will thus be opened and cleared gradually. When the mind has been completely corrected, and the Surat, the attention faculty of the soul, has acquired the strength to partake of the bliss of higher regions, Radhasoami Dayal, the merciful, compassionate Soul Lord, Lord of the soul, will graciously open the inner eye to some extent and vouchsafe sufficient strength. He will augment love, or prem, a great deal. This will accelerate the inner progress of the spirit. Thus the path will be easily traversed. It is only then that the jiva, the soul or spirit, will comprehend fully the immanence of Sat Purush Radhasoami Dayal, the true eternal timeless being, merciful Lord of the soul. His Shabd, or sound current, and the mode of devotional practices, the mode of meditation or devotional practices. He will attain freedom from all care and intense bliss. The process of awakening from illusion described by Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram. A brief summary of the teachings of Huzur Maharaj and other Nirguna Bhakti saints of India, the devotees of the formless Lord of the soul. In a nutshell, the Radhasoami faith is a gospel of love. Love towards the holy feet of Radhasoami Dayal, the merciful Lord of the soul. Love towards the master of the time, and love with all the human beings is its cardinal message. A quote from Agem Prasad Mathur from his book Petals of Love, published in Agra, India. More key teachings of the Nirguna Sant tradition of India, the devotees of the formless ocean of love and all consciousness, that some refer to as God. All souls, or jivas, are in essence drops of love from the ocean of love. The attachment and association with mind and body makes the soul lose sight of the real self. God assumes the form of a saint or master to lead the soul back to its original home. One must surrender one's entire being to the ocean of love of which we are a part, instead of limiting ourselves to sensual pleasures which leave us unhappy and without a way out, without a way forward. This can be done by the practice of Surat Shabd Yoga, also known as inner light and sound meditation. The attention faculty of the soul, or Surat, becoming yoked or united to, as in yoga, with the Shabd or Shabda, the divine positive power that is like a river that flows back to the original ocean of all consciousness. Surat Shabd Yoga, the yoga of the Surat Shabd. By attaining this, by tuning oneself to the life current which proceeds from the heart of Anami Purush, the nameless Supreme Being, aka Radhasoami, Lord of the Soul, in the form of light and sound, one can finally achieve union with the true self, finding the joy one is seeking. A passage from a Radhasoami white paper on the religion of Saints and Radhasoami faith, published by Dayal Bagh in Agra, India. You're hearing Spiritual Awakening Radio, this week exploring the wisdom of Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram Bahadur of the Radhasoami faith. Stay tuned for more after these messages. At the living present time, and during every single decade of the last century, during every century of the last millennium, and the millennium before that, and perhaps further back in time before recorded history, the living teacher, the living master, has said to his or her students, I will give you what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, what no hand has felt, and what has never occurred to the human mind. You will see without eyes. You will hear without ears. You will fly without wings. The compassion of the living Satguru makes known to the disciple the unknown. The wisdom of Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram, this week on Spiritual Awakening Radio. The following devotional techniques or practices are found in the book Prem Patra Radhaswami, Volume 1, by Huzur Maharaj. The key spiritual exercises or techniques and customs of the Radhasoami faith, that during the 19th century he was the founder of, in charge of, in Agra at his Radhasoami Satsang. Number 1, Simran, the mental chant, the mental repetition of the holy name Radhasoami, the mantra, the name of God, the sacred name. It's mentally chanted, mentally repeated. That's step 1 of spiritual practice. 2, Simran with Dhyan, the repetition of the holy name, Radhasoami, along with the contemplation or visualization of the form of the Master and the contemplation of inner light at the third eye center. The third practice is called bhajan, listening to the sound current. At the stage of bhajan, one gives up the repetition of the sacred name, as well as inner seeing or contemplating the radiant form of the Master or the visualized form of the Master, and allows a higher name of God to become the focus. A name higher than any other name, a name higher than earthly language, the sound of God, a divine mantra that recites itself, the sound current, the true Nam. This practice is called bhajan. The word bhajan is also used in Indian spirituality to refer to a hymn, singing a devotional hymn in a loving or bhakti sort of way. And this conveys something of the true nature of inner sound meditation, listening to the sound current, that it should be done in a loving, devotional sort of way. At this point, not singing a hymn, but listening to a divine hymn being sung in the silence of meditation, the music of the spheres. Number 4, the fourth practice, the recitation of holy books, the writings of the masters, like we're doing here today, or listening to their recital in satsang. 5, discussing the principles of the Radhasoami faith, or listening to such discussion, Q&A about the teachings. 6, thinking about, reflecting upon, pondering matters pertaining to the Radhasoami faith and its practices. Pondering, ruminating about the teachings, internalizing them. And 7, examining the ways of one's mind and senses daily. Self-introspection. Examining the ways of one's mind and senses every single day, keeping them under control as far as is possible. Those are the 7 key techniques of the Radhasoami faith, according to Huzur Maharaj. Simran, the repetition of the sacred name. 2, Simran with dhyan, contemplating the inner light, visualizing the form of the Master, and at some point that could turn into the radiant form of the Master, no visualizing required. 3, bhajan, listening to the inner sound current. 4, the recitation of the writings of the Masters, or listening to their recital in satsang, the spiritual gathering or meetup. 5, discussing the principles of the Radhasoami faith, or listening to such discussion. Woe are the disciples that don't want to talk about the path they follow. Come on. Seriously? Those who follow a path have a certain degree of passion about it, curiosity, into a book or two. They don't have to be bookish nerds, but if one loves a path, one doesn't forget about that path. One is rather curious and focused on that path. One tests positive for being a devotee of that path with some signs of life, indeed. 6, thinking about and reflecting on matters pertaining to the Radhasoami faith and pondering them. And 7, examining the ways of one's mind and senses daily. Self-introspection daily, keeping them under control as far as is possible. That's almost another kind of meditation, isn't it? Sitting in the silence, just kind of gazing upon your life, pondering the events, the goings-on in your life. That's kind of an inner diary of the spirit, if you will. You're hearing Spiritual Awakening Radio. More teachings of Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram Bahadur, known as the second guru of the Radhasoami faith, spiritual successor of Swamiji Maharaj of the Radhasoami Satsang, Agra, India. Stay tuned for more coming up. From time to time on this program, I share the introductory meditation instructions. Sometimes masters give out this public domain form of introductory meditation as a way to illustrate for their listening audience or those who attend their gatherings what it means to go within. How does one go within? How do you get there from here? And so this practice gives one an inkling, a slight sense of what it's like to reach the third eye center and go within. This convenient method is shared in the teachings of Sawan Singh, and sometimes I've shared them from the writings of Sant Kripal Singh. And those can be found online at the Ruhani Satsang USA website. The following introductory meditation instructions come from Huzur Baba Sawan Singh. He says, "As to any exercises which might help you until the time of your initiation, I can only suggest at this time that you may sit in meditation in a quiet place, like your own bedroom or some room as secluded as possible, and with spine and body erect. In a comfortable position, fix all of the attention at the center, just back of the two eyes, and slowly repeat the word Radhasoami, 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 fixing the mind on the Supreme Being, who is your Supreme Father." Huzur Baba Sawan Singh. Today on Spiritual Awakening Radio, remembering Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram of the Radhasoami faith, based in Agra, India. Huzur was born in 1829 and passed on in 1898. Huzur Maharaj studied the Hindu scriptures as a spiritual seeker and probed deep into the 6 systems of Indian philosophy. He studied the Bible, the Quran, the holy books of Jainism and Buddhism. While on an official tour of Meerut, Huzur Maharaj met Pratap Singh Seth, who was then the camp clerk to the Postmaster General. In his leisure, Seth used to recite hymns from Guru Banis, which so much appealed to Huzur Maharaj that he asked him to explain their significance and meaning. Pratap Singh expressed his inability to interpret the hymns of the Sikh gurus and advised Huzur Maharaj to meet his elder brother, Swamiji Maharaj, who alone could bring out the spiritual secrets latent in those devotional hymns. Pratap Singh arranged their meeting in November of 1858. The interview lasted for nearly 7 hours. Swamiji's replies to Huzur Maharaj's searching questions were convincing and introduced him to a well-defined method for the attainment of the highest reality through the practice of Surat Shabd Yoga. He exhorted him to practice it and arrive at results for himself. And that is a description of the encounter of Huzur Maharaj with the great saint who became his spiritual master, Swamiji Maharaj. And that's found in a book called The Radhasoami Faith, a historical study by Agam Prasad Mathur, also known as Dadaji Maharaj, of the Radhasoami Satsang in Agra, India. Huzur Maharaj was correctly styled as a Messiah of love. To Huzur Maharaj goes the credit of revealing the name Radhasoami. a recitation of this true name according to Huzur Maharaj, would dissolve the ego, generate love, facilitate yoga, and purify the body, mind, and soul, and would prove to be a true companion and a mighty weapon in the inward journey of the spirit. Baba Devi Sahib of the Sant Tulsi Sahib Satsang regarded Huzur as a great Sant Sat Guru, as did his spiritual successor Maharishi Mehi Paramhans, who dedicated a chapter to him in his book Sant Vani Satik, Commentary on the Sayings of Sants. In the book Light of Kirpal Singh refers to Huzur Maharaj as a saint and very advanced, listing him as one of the great disciples of Swamiji Maharaj of Agra. Baba Devi Sahib of the Tulsi Sahib Satsang regarded Huzur as a Sant Sat Guru and actually spent quite a bit of time with him in Agra before he went on to found his own spiritual mission. Huzur was one of the great prolific writers of the Sant Mat tradition. I was greatly influenced by his many volumes, which I received in the mail long ago, especially Prem Patra Radhaswami, the great work of Huzur, volumes 1 through 6, an actual encyclopedia of Sant Mat teachings. So many books. Radhasoami Mat Prakash was actually written in English at the beginning of the 20th century. Prem Patra Radhaswami, volumes 1 through 6, Prem Bani Radhaswami Mat Prakash, Radhasoami Mat Sandesh. So many books. Updesh, Sar Updesh, Nij Updesh, Guru Updesh, Jugat Prakash, and many more volumes, all in my library, and you can access them for free online. Stay tuned for more Spiritual Awakening Radio coming up. The great master of the masters, Swamiji Maharaj of Agra, India, once said of his disciple, Rai Saligram, "I do not know whether I am Saligram's guru or he is mine." They were indeed a dynamic duo, a kind of combination of Jesus and John the Baptist. It's hard to tell one from the other. That quote, "I do not know whether I am Rai Saligram's guru or he is mine," is found in the book Petals of Love by Agem Prasad Mathur. Seth Sudarshan Singh asked, who should they look for guidance after the passing of Swamiji? Swamiji Maharaj said, "Whoever needs spiritual guidance should seek it from Saligram." I'm reading from a document known as The Last Words of Swamiji Maharaj. Addressing Lala Seth Pratap Singh, Swamiji Maharaj observed, "The faith I had given out was that of Satnam and Anami. The Radhasoami faith has been introduced by Saligram. You should let it also continue. Satsang must go on. Satsang shall spread far and wide in the future." Continuing, he declared, in this Kali Yuga, this current epoch, age of time, no other spiritual activity will succeed. It is only the contemplation of the Satguru's form, repetition of the name of the Supreme Being, and concentration on the Shabd, the spiritual sound, that will be successful and beneficial, unquote. From the last words of Swamiji Maharaj. His definition of a successful and beneficial meditation practice is the ascension of the soul through the 7 heavens finally merging into the Supreme Being in the realm beyond, the eighth plane, known as Radhasoami Desh or Anami Desh. Inducing a conscious near-death experience by way of meditation and focusing on the spiritual sound that lets the mind become so still, so relaxed that it can transcend not only this physical body, but the astral body as well, and the causal body and the mind entirely, like putting the serpent mind to sleep by listening to the divine recorder being played, allowing the soul to return to its original abode. That's his definition of successful and beneficial meditation. That's his standard. And finally today, a poem of Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram Bahadur from Prem Updesh Radhaswami, the love discourses of the Lord of the Soul. All knowledge is shallow without love. Through love one meets the Supreme Creator. Infinite is the wealth of love. Through love one meets the Supreme Creator. All meditation is pretense without love. All knowledge is shallow without love. All scriptures are sham without love. Kal, the Lord of time, death, and illusion, the demiurge, and karma are overcome by love. Mana and maya, mind and illusion, are subdued by love. Surat, the soul, ascends to higher regions by love. Love dispels all evils. One is detached from the world by love. Refulgence within one perceives by love. Every heart overflows with love. Most exalted is the glory of love. All endeavors are in vain without love. All activities are void without love. One is redeemed by love and love alone. May Radhasoami grant the gift of love. May Radhasoami grant the gift of love. May Radhasoami grant the gift of love. Hope you've enjoyed today's edition of Spiritual Awakening Radio, exploring the wisdom of Huzur Maharaj Rai Saligram. Earlier I mentioned there's a book called The Radhasoami Faith, a Historical Study, that's available for free online. And there are several books of Huzur Maharaj available on the web. And actually, I have many blogs featuring excerpts from the writings of Huzur Maharaj, accompanied with mystical artwork, spiritual icons. Icons are not only made on Mount Athos in the Western tradition, but there are many icons in India too, of various saints or sants, including Huzur Maharaj. These are all online. I can send you links to these items if you want to explore in greater detail the wisdom of Huzur Maharaj. The introductory meditation instructions that I mentioned earlier, that's available as well. Send me an email at this address, james@spiritualawakeningradio.com, james@spiritualawakeningradio.com, or send me a text message at this number, 508-603-9381, 508-603-9381. Go to my website, spiritualawakeningradio.com, where you can access for free podcasts on demand. You can right-click and save and download those podcasts as well, if you like. There are links to social media for daily spiritual quotes, blogs. I have a donate button on my website for anyone who'd like to help support and keep this program alive and well and on the air and into the future. There's a donate button at the website and many articles, lots of resources at the website, spiritualawakeningradio.com. For Spiritual Awakening, I'm James Bean. Thanks for listening.